On today's episode, we're going to be talking about zodiac-curious. Zodiac. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, hello.
Yeah, hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah. I'm Corinne.
I'm Samelia.
And I'm Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, yes. Queen Elizabeth.
Queen energy all day.
Hey, guys. Welcome back to It's an Okay podcast. We just want to thank our sponsors first.
Anchor FM.
Woohoo.
Woohoo! You guys can download Anchor FM through your App Store or through your Google Play, if you have the Android. And then download the app is where you can listen to tons of podcasts like ours. They're not going to be okay because we're the okay podcast.
Wow. Not the hateration, holleration on androids, first of all. Anyway, welcome to our third episode. It's our third episode.
It's Power 3.
It sets us free.
The Power 3 will set you free. Well, today, like Beth said, we're talking about the zodiacs. The ones we like, the ones we don't like.
The ones we can do without.
The ones we attract, all of that stuff. So
Everything.
do we want to go around and say our signs? Do we want to do like our big three, or do we just want to keep it strictly to sun sign?
Let's keep it at the sun sign.
The sun.
Okay. Well, I'm Corinne. I'm a Cancer sun. A July Cancer. That's important.
Yeah, that is important. Say your month because it matters.
Okay, I'm Samelia, and I'm an April Taurus.
And I'm Elizabeth. I am an October true Libra. We ain't no cusper over here.
Okay, so what do you like most about being a Libra, Elizabeth?
I mean, everything. Wouldn't y'all? Don't y'all? I mean, think about it. We're the best sign out there. I mean, we get along with just about everyone. I think that we're chameleons. That's what I think that I like most about my sign is that you can put us in a room with just about anybody. And even if they hate us, by the end of it, at least we're off their radar.
Okay.
I like being a Taurus because it's nice and grounded. It's earth sign. I feel very balanced.
Are these shade? Is this dicks?
I mean, I'm not sending them that way, but if it's landing that way.
You're like,
she said, I ain't sending them, but if you catching them.
First of all, I'm air, so I'll just float away.
No, but yes, I like the calm energy that I move through life with. It feels calm to me. I think I've been told that I am calming for other people as well.
I see that. Well, what I love about being a Cancer, because I really do love being a Cancer sign, I truly feel like it was something that I had to get the hang of growing up. Like I remember being in the 6th grade, and I remember the first time someone called me moody, and it just it was my best friend. No, literally, it was my best friend. I was in the 6th grade. We were in gym class. I remember exactly where I was. And she called me moody. And I feel like that was the first time I really tapped into my emotional power. Obviously, we know that water signs are very just like they my sign specifically is controlled by the moon. So it changes when the moon changes. So the phases of the moon are different every single night. So that's why I'm different every single night. But I feel like once you kind of have the hang of that and you understand where your quote unquote moodiness comes from, and you realize it's not really moodiness. It's just you're reacting to something that affected your mood and you're not really holding that back. I think that's actually a superpower, to be in control of your emotions and know how to control your emotions and to honor your emotions, because it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I like being a Cancer, because I just feel like it took me a while to get a hang of everything. But once I did, I realized that it was just emotion, and being tapped into my emotion is not a bad thing. And it's actually, a superpower to me, at least.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, thanks, Sam.
What
Thanks,
do
Amelia.
What do you guys like about each other's signs?
I don't like y'all sign up like
Deadass though.
It's so funny is in our personal lives, Elizabeth and I don't know if I can, maybe I'll cut this out, but
Keep it.
okay, but there are Libras in my life where I'm get away from me now. And Beth feels the same way though with the Cancers in her life. Do you not? Or am I speaking for you?
Somewhat, yeah. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I want to see that. I told somebody this too. I was like, girl, I'm just happy that we're siblings, because the people that I have to deal with, there's the guy that I was talking to is a Taurus. Girl, I literally had to tell him, I said, yo, you're manic. So 1 minute you're yelling at me, the next minute you're being nice to me. I don't know how to handle this.
But I think that also has to do with their level of evolution.
I
Oh,
agree,
for sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
And male signs are different than female signs. Like a male Taurus, from what I've been told, I
think that's the truth. It's obviously like there's so many like factors into it, like the way we're socialized in society. Men might just go about life and like how they approach things a lot differently, but their sign still like plays into that, but they're just going to approach things differently because they've been socialized differently.
Yeah, oh my gosh, whenever you said that, it made me think of the one time where, because I think that Taurus and Cancer get along very well, like they're very complementary. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, everything that I've been reading says that like Cancer is a good sign for me. And you're like, yeah, but a male Cancer is different.
Oh my God.
And I was like, no, like how different can it be? I don't know.
Since a chance.
That night I met a guy and
you like, texted me and you were like, I see it. I'm like, yeah, girl.
I'm like, oh my gosh, this is different.
Yeah.
This is very different.
You know
what were you going to say, Beth?
Oh, sorry.
No, I was like, I talked to a male Cancer once and he was the worst. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this. Corey was like, oh my God. Like, he's like, that'd be nice. I was like, no, this is too much. Like that emotional, like, I don't think I do well with the emotional aspect. I'm very much like my emotions come last.
Yeah.
I have never talked to a male Cancer, but I've interacted with one and I tried to hit him with the chair because he like.
Wait, what? Is this like literal or figurative?
No, seriously.
Oh gosh.
Because he just didn't understand like, okay, you might feel a connection between us, but like doesn't mean I want to act on it and doesn't mean that you can. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I've already explained to you that I'm not interested in you that way just because we connect. Yeah. We probably connect because we're both Cancers. There's probably a connection there, but what you need to do is understand, like, read the connection in your head and maybe not in your pants, you know?
Oh, wow.
Like, but just because I am interacting with you and I think you're cool and like, you know, we can like bump elbows and stuff like that does not mean like you can touch me when I say like when I don't want to hug, then don't fucking touch me, right. You know?
Like, so you need to be able to respect my boundaries regardless of how you feel internally about who I am to you or what I could be.
Right.
Like I'm still a person, an autonomous person. So respect my boundaries.
Right. Okay. So the things I like about you guys' signs. So yeah, I think that Taurus are very, my compatibility is always saying that I'm supposed to be with an earth sign. I have Virgo in my big three. Uh-huh. I know we're not talking about that, but like, I think I also have Capricorn in my big three. I think that's a lot of the reason why Samelia and I really do get along a lot because I have so much earth in my chart.
Yeah.
But I like that the earth signs they are very, very grounded. And even just for the example of like yesterday, I called Samelia just very like off the waves, off the shore. And Samelia was like, you know, did a really good job of like, my analogy is like Samelia is a boat and I'm the water. And she does a really good job of like ebbing with the way the water goes. Like most people, when they're on a boat, they are going to feel like nauseous, seasick. Oh my gosh, this is scary. The waves are coming up, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like earth signs are like chilling like a little boat on the water, kind of moving with it, but like they're grounded in themselves because they know how to move with the water.
And here comes wind, creating a water spout, bitch, rocking all that shit.
I like air signs because y'all are funny. Honestly, yes. I think air signs are so hilarious. And I really do think you guys are smart and strategic. And I don't think like that. Obviously, I'm very more emotionally driven. So I'm not thinking strategically. And I think that air signs, specifically speaking of Libra, because Beth's a Libra, if you need to figure something out, I do think that you guys are the people to go to.
Yeah.
That's crazy because you know that I just got my pattern app yesterday and it was like, it had something along the lines of like, there's a reason that people come to you for advice, continue to give them advice, Libra.
Wow.
I'm having one of those moments.
What I like about your signs. So yeah, I think that Cancer, just when I think of it in terms of like the elements, right? Like earth and water, like very complementary, you know, like the water feeds the earth. And so I like the earth gives water boundaries. So I like that.
That's a good point. I
Thank you.
like that.
Thank you. So I like that aspect of our, I think of it in terms of our relationship also. So I like it in terms of our relationships. When it comes to air and Libra, Beth is like the funniest person. And she finds humor in like everything.
Yeah.
And like, so even I just think about like all like the Will Ferrell movies we used to watch, and like how like at first we would watch it and just kind of be like, what? And then you watch it with Beth and it's like this whole other experience. And it's like everything is funny because she just makes things funnier. She makes life more fun. I think I appreciate it. I think it's probably in part because of our familial relationship, because we are family. And typically with air signs, I'm like, this is like it's too all over the place, and I'm like, I cannot rely on this. But I think, and so as an earth sign, that can sometimes be a little triggering. I'm like, where are you going? And are you coming back? But but I appreciate specifically about Beth is that like she is for what she is for, and if you are a person she is for, she's for you. And so I always, you know, go to her. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't understand.
And I'm like, boom. So what you gonna do, right?
I'm like, I mean, I get the strategy. I just don't understand why we have to strategize.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Beth, your turn. What do you like about us? Try to find something positive.
I got positive. Listen, I'm not all negative, not all the time. So I will start with the baby first.
That's not the baby, that's my baby.
That needs to be Corey's theme song every time she starts talking.
Wow.
No, he's incredibly homophobic and problematic. So maybe not.
You're like, make that one Corinne's theme song for the homo. Make the homo the homophobe. Make the homophobe the homo's theme song.
We're all homo sapiens at the end of the day.
Wow. Maybe you should have wrote the baby's apology.
Clearly,
when I said homo, I meant homo sapien.
You homo erectus is what I was talking
about. Okay, so what I like most about y'all signs is that y'all are funny too, though. But you both, so I believe that Cancer, so I've said this before. I feel like if y'all weren't, like she said, if it wasn't for family, I don't know how it would go. Because like, I tend to not get along with the other Taurian women in my life. However, with my sister, it is a completely different relationship. Like, you are always the person I'm going to, or just asking for advice on things, because like, you're a little bit more patient than I am. So one thing that I do love about you is your patience and your knack for the bigger picture of things, and being like, no, girl, don't do that. And I'm like, but I really want to punch them in their shit. And you're like, nah, I would not do that. Let's advise against it. Let's come up with a different plan. And I'm like, and so there's other things that you do for me too. Oh, I like that you're very, very organized. And I like that about you, because I'm like, I'm not organized in the slightest. I have my mind works in a different way, but it's still organized in my mind. It's just not on paper, love. On paper.
It's truly like a windstorm.
Yeah. But the windstorm is organized.
I live with you. You don't have to lie to me. You can lie to the people. You can't lie to me.
It's organized to me.
She's very beautiful to me.
Like, I know where stuff is. Y'all don't gotta know where it is, but that's why it's organized in my mind.
It's an organized mess.
Organized chaos is like the perfect way to describe me. Organized chaos. I when I'm talking about what about Cancers? I like having Corey as a sibling because, well, it's for the longest time I didn't realize that, like I said, Corey's always like water, like how she explained it. Water kind of just like air can push water, right? Water can't really push air.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, I could like, move Corey wherever I wanted to. It wasn't until she decided, you know what,
to build a dam.
Yeah, to build a dam.
Per.
And said, you're not getting through. And I was like, what? There's no way around this. And she was just kind of like, look, chick, you're going to stop telling you what to do. That's where it became like we coexisted in a habitat together, because before it was like, I'm just going to tell her this is where we're going and this is what we're going to do. And she would go along and do it. And I think with us getting older, our relationships got a lot better, because like we have just, my older sister it's always funny because somebody will always be like, have you seen Corey today? And I'm like, no. And she'll go to Corey and be like, have you seen Beth today? And Corey's like, no. But then we know that we don't talk to each other all the time, but when we do, we get out like maybe 3 weeks worth of information that we have not told each other. And we literally live across the hall from one another.
Yeah.
So it's just like nice, like air and water just coexists.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's always there, but you're not, you know, where a boat is on top of water, where y'all are going to like directly touch each other. Air and water is just like in the same space, not necessarily.
We're in our own lanes.
Yeah.
We do two different things. And so Beth is controlling the upper region. I'm controlling the bottom region. Sometimes we might intersect, but for the most part, we do our jobs.
Yeah. And it's just like that. So I like that. I like me and her's relationship, how she's the Cancer that she is. Because there's other Cancers, I'm like, girl, I will.
I'm a July Cancer. Remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They hit different.
Yeah. When do you guys think you first started like to understand zodiac? Like, was it something, because it was not something that we were raised on in the slightest. So what's your journey with understanding your zodiac as a whole and your like own sign?
I think I started learning about zodiac when I started dating personally, because each person I dated, because I used to have a thing where I would always end up with somebody, either the name was Mike, John, or like all of like the people I would be dating all had the same. It used to irritate me, because I'm like, why do I keep attracting these people? Why do they all have the same names? And so I started being like, okay, well, I need something else to differentiate them. So like I started going for their birth dates. And when I started going, it opened up a whole other world that like, oh my gosh, there you actually can like, people really, really try to be like, no, you can't say just because I'm an aquamarine that this is why. No, yes, I can, because there's other things in your chart that make you the way that you are. But there are your sun sign is your personality. So like there are things, if you're evolved, your personality will have, and if you're unevolved, your personality will have. I have seen both, because when I was unevolved, girl, I was a master manipulator, shit starter. So now when I see other Libras that are unevolved, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a red flag.
Yeah. But
it used to be like, it wasn't until I think mom was like, you need to grow up. You're never going to have any friends if you keep being.
We have a great mom. I want to reiterate that.
Mom keeps it real. And that's, I think our mom just has real talk with us. And I think all parents should have real talk with their kids. Like if your kid is doing something, if your kid is bullying another kid, don't be sitting there like, well, my son is just so perfect. No, you need to tell that motherfucker, you need to shape up. Or else you're going to be that person out here that nobody likes. And my mom sat me down and was like, you're going to be that person out here that nobody likes. And I was like, damn, she might have a point. Let me chill out.
Okay, so I started getting into zodiac, I want to say my senior year of high school, freshman year of college. I remember in college, I downloaded an astrology app, and I would have the app send me alerts every single day. It would tell me like what the Cancer alerts were, right? That was just very like basic level. Obviously, I didn't really understand what I was doing, but I knew I was really into like, I would have a dream, and I would get up in the morning and I would like read the meaning of my dreams. And I was very affirmed by like other African students in my college who were like, that is the most African thing I've ever seen someone do, is like read their dreams. And so something like that kind of pushed me towards astrology. Ties into my spirituality and how I develop as a human being.
Yeah.
And so I started to look more into like how like something like reading my dreams and astrology and how I interact with the world and where the stars and things like that can affect how I become a better person. Because ultimately for me, like spirituality for me is just becoming the best person that I can be for the world.
Yeah.
So I started really, really getting into it, I think, like the way I'm now, where I'm like searching my big three and stuff, probably like when I graduated college.
Yeah.
So because I started being around more people who were into figuring out stuff like that and being affirmed by the people that I was surrounded with.
Yeah.
And then I had CoStar, and then a lot of my friends were like, delete CoStar. I don't know how a pattern came into my life, but I downloaded the pattern app, and it was the literal best thing that ever happened to me because, okay, that's dramatic, but
Yeah.
but it was so like, it just changed the way I started looking at the way I develop in the world. So the pattern app has things like, it'll give you prompts on what you need to, like when the new moon comes around, it'll give you prompts. Like, so this recent one, it gave you prompts on confidence because it was Leo season. So yeah, I started getting more into, I think, like post college. And then obviously I don't know everything there is to know, right? Like I know my Venus and I know my Mercury. But like, I don't know like my 12th house wheel that tilts to the left, and I don't know all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm still learning, but I would say I really, really got into it around when I got to college.
Yeah, I think I'm very similar when it comes to it. Like I am all about a tool for self-awareness. Like
Yeah.
anything that I can use to become more self-aware, because for me, ultimately I want to become more Christ-like. And if Christ is perfect, then I'm like, how can I get as close to perfection as possible? I know that's not always healthy.
Very Taurian of you.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Taurus, but I'm also an Enneagram 1, which, if you know about Enneagram numbers, that is the perfectionist. And so that is something that my quest for perfection is definitely something that it's been a journey. So, and I think I'm in a much healthier place now than I used to be, because I used to be very rigid and very like, speak on it. I'm like, you put that cup down and it left a ring. You need to pick it up. And I would be so serious. And
I'd be looking at her like,
like, did you not see that I just vacuumed this carpet and all the lines are going in one direction? Why would you do that? Why do you hate me?
Yeah.
Girl, I got stories in my diary about your perfection, boo.
Yeah, well, I'm healthier now.
I know you are.
But I've received the help I needed.
What did you say?
I said I received the help I needed.
Yes, I did. I did. Well, actually, I think life just happened and you just realize, like, I don't have to be perfect for God to love me. So I think that is where, for me, where my journey started, was like feeling like I had to be perfect because that was how I would receive love from God. And then going on the journey of like realizing, like, no, like God loves me just as I am, and I will never be perfect, but I can still strive to be like Christ in, every day. And so for me, like, I really look at it the same way I look at any other tool for self-awareness. So Enneagrams, human design, all of that. Zodiac is based on when you were born. And, God knew when we were going to be born. He had all of that information. He knew the stars would be aligned in such a way. He knew the where the planets would be. I mean, when you think about how big God is, he knew where the planets would be and how that would impact the person that I was born as and how I would grow and develop. So if he knew all of that, and you're using zodiac just to understand yourself and understand others so you can work and live more harmoniously, I think that it can be a very beautiful tool. And so I would say I definitely was not for it when I was younger, because I thought, like, it was witchcraft and of the devil. And I think the more that I've just grown and just kind of understood more things in the world, I think that you can definitely, there's light and dark everywhere, and you can take things down a dark path, but you can also conversely take things down a path of light. And if you're always kind of grounding yourself in Christ, in the truth, if you're using the truth of the weaknesses of your sign as an understanding of where you might need to seek a relationship with God so you can become stronger in those areas, like, that is not a bad thing, right? So for me, I think it's I have become more interested in it, like, as I've just gotten older and learned more about people and met more people who are different. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, this person's a very challenging person. I don't know anything else about them other than that this is their birthday. So they're a let me think of a sign that I have a challenge with. I'm not going to add it. Never mind.
Screaming.
So instead of like, I think it's easy when you're in conflict with someone to vilify that person. But instead I'm like, all right, this person just operates this way. So typically these signs operate this way. And so instead of me internalizing the things they're doing, instead I'm like, okay, well, they just see things differently. And God, there's a beauty in that. So that's where I am with zodiacs now. I think that they're very helpful in understanding people, but I don't take them too serious.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
So really quick, we did what we like best about our signs. Let's go through what we like least about our own signs, and then I guess each other's signs if we want to go there.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I don't really have a actually I do have a dislike for my signs because I've met a couple of people that I'm like, what? Do I act like this?
I'm weak. What is it?
My dislikes is that so I don't feel like I play devil's advocate a lot. I don't like when people do that because for me, I can see both sides, but if I am actively listening, I'm not gonna play devil's advocate for you because I just there's no point. I see exactly what you're saying.
Right.
So why am I gonna sit there and be like, well, devil's advocate here? Yeah. And it's like, no, why are
the devil don't need no more advocate.
He don't.
So don't.
Sure doesn't, and I'm not going to. So I think that's the one thing that's my biggest pet peeve when I meet another Libra female, because Libra males, I just avoid them. Our dad has a birthday before mine. I love my dad to death, but if I have any inclination of how he was when he was younger, run.
Gosh,
I know how I am as a Libra female. We are toxic, and the traits and qualities that we have, because we can just shut our emotions off. It is not we. And not in a way where it's we still feel, but you're not gonna know that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be done with you, and it is gonna just be that, and I'm gonna keep it moving because air, that's what it does. When we're done, we pick up and we move.
Yeah.
And so the one thing I just don't like about that is the devil's advocacy, and the unevolved nature of us can be very manipulative, can be very well, I'm just gonna plan. I'm gonna tell half truths. It's still the truth, but I'm just only gonna give you enough to then make you brood, and then I'm gonna go tell the other person the other half of it.
Yeah.
So that you guys don't have the full story, and then you're mad at each other.
Yeah.
Great.
Whereas I don't do that.
Yeah.
That gets on my nerves, and I can spot it out. I can see it in conversation when people are doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what don't you like about our signs?
Oh, your signs? So I can only speak on the women that I've dealt with that were Taurians that I didn't get along with.
Yeah.
The nature of their being is so for me personally, Libra, we are I want to be the best thing for myself. The Taurian woman that I dealt with, who I felt is very unevolved, was outwardly I'm better than everyone else. And it's I never say that about people, but she outwardly would she genuinely would say things and or make sly comments and it's just what is the purpose of this? What does this actually do for you?
Yeah.
Because saying that you're better doesn't actually make you better. If that's what you need to make yourself feel better,
yeah,
great. I feel I'm better than myself on the inside, but I'm not walking around I'm better than you.
Yeah.
That's weird. And so she would do stuff like that, or try to she would always do things compare what she had going on with what I was doing, or that how I needed to do what she was doing to get. And it was just girl, you're not the blueprint, and you're not the wealthiest people in the world are Libras. We don't need to follow your plan because we're gonna strategize and get ourselves there. We don't need to listen to whatever you're doing. So specifically with dealing with that girl, it was just no, I can't. I can't be friends with you. You're very annoying.
Yeah.
With Cancers, the flakiness. Just the flakiness. Y'all be real flaky. Just say what it is. You don't want to hang out today? Cool. But don't be 10 hours later, be oh yeah, sorry. I'm just now waking up. I was washing my feet earlier today. Y'all be really and you're terrible with it. You're terrible with the lies, but it's okay, girl, it is not that serious. Just say you didn't want to hang out. I can go do something else.
Yeah. All right, so what do you least like about the signs?
Okay, so for myself, I think what I least like, I mean, it's hard because I'm like, I like myself. But I think that with a Taurus, I don't like locking horns with another bull. I don't like locking horns, period. So I try to avoid it, like, because I feel like if I get into a stubborn mood, if I get there, I'm going to stay there.
Yeah.
And so I try really, really hard not to get there because there's no reasoning with me. And then I'll go back and like think about it. I'm like, girl, did it really need to be that? But in the moment, if I get to that place, we're just going to be there. And it's just not, if I do it with another bull, nobody's backing down.
Right.
So we're just going to be mad at each other until we get past it. And then it's like, okay, well, you go back to your corner, I'll go back to my corner, and we'll be fine. And so that's what I dislike the most about Taurus. Cancer, the only thing that I can really think about is like, I think sometimes Cancer can get, for me, I'm always trying to think about like, okay, what's the bigger picture? Let's not get too bogged down by this. Like, yes, we can give it space, but like, let's not live there. And very much Cancers are like, I'm going to live there. I'm going to live. I'm living here.
I've got a
Why are
blanket.
you in my swamp?
And I'm like, but like there's fresh water over there and we could just drink the fresh water from there. It's like, but that's not the water that I want. And the water that I want is not what I want. And now I'm upset about it.
Gang gang.
All day. And Libra, let me see. It is the let me think how I can say this.
Girl, just say it.
I'm trying to think of how I can say it. I think with Libra, it's the force with which they experience feelings. It sometimes feels very overwhelming. And so if I'm not ready for it, it'll take me to a place that I don't want to be. And so that is, I think, what I have the hardest time with, because they move on so quickly. They feel all of this rage at once, and then in 20 minutes they're like, they're over it. But because they feel all of this rage, they need you to be there with them. And if you're not there with them, they'll feel as though you're not empathizing with them, which is not the case. It's just the fact that energy is not destroyed, it's merely transferred. And so if you come at me with that energy and you're someone that I care about, you're going to raise my energy to be where you are, and I can't recover as quickly as you are. And so sometimes I feel like there's like a disregard for the fact that I love you, I just can't be where you are right now. But that's not, I'm not there because I don't care about you. I'm just not able to I'm not able to move on the way you are. So I think that's probably the thing that I like the least about the Libra, is the expectation that I'll be ready to rage when you are.
I miss the rage. Okay, my turn. So the thing I dislike the most about Cancers are, if you meet a Cancer that you really like and you want to hang out with them, kill that notion, because they're not going to leave their house. They're not leaving their house. Like, I think of all the Cancer girls I'm friends with right now, and I'll be like, oh, hey, want to go do this? And I'm like, actually, I'm going to stay in. I'm like, okay. But like, I'm the same way, so I can't even talk. But I just hate it when other people do it to me. And then the thing I don't like about Tauruses is that this, I'm just speaking off of like this person I used to work with. I knew what their feelings were, and when I tried to connect to what they were feeling, they were like trying to hold their emotions over me in a way. It was like, I'm upset at you, but instead of telling you I'm upset at you, I'm going to tell someone else I'm upset at you. And now that person's going to be yelling at you, but like, you could have just told me you were upset with me. I'm like, that's the thing I don't like. I feel like you have no reason to be afraid of me. So I feel like, or like, I don't know, maybe they just didn't feel comfortable telling me that they didn't like something I did, but like, they would literally not like something I did. And instead of being like, I don't like that thing you did, they would just like brood and then tell someone else. And then I ended up getting yelled at a lot. So it was like very frustrating, because it was like, I'm honest with you, I need you to be honest with me. And then the thing I don't like about Libras, I think, is what Beth said earlier, is like unevolved Libras are very manipulative, and they think that they're doing a good job at like like I was saying, some people think they're playing chess and they're really playing checkers. I really cannot stand someone who thinks they're doing a good job at manipulating you, and you're literally just sitting there like,
girl, you're terrible.
you're like, bro, bruh. So yeah, that's the things about the zodiacs that really irk me is the brooding of the Taurus, the homeliness of the Cancer, and the like fake pot, like the fake boss bitch energy of like an unevolved Libra.
Yes. On it. On it.
Now that we talked about what we like the best and what we like the least, I want to know what attracts you to each sign and what sign you're most and least compatible with.
I will start. So I like signs that like money. That attracts me to them. So go-getter personalities. Or so apparently, like according to like zodiac things, like Taurian men are supposed to be a good match for me, but in my thing, I'm good. I think we make better friends than we do partners.
Okay.
And then I think my favorite sign would be, I genuinely think Aries. I just think that because Aries is my sister's sign. So whenever I meet an Aries, it's always an instant like, oh my God, they're so amazing, because I see myself in them because they're crazy.
Yeah.
But they're about their money. They're about being a go-getter. And it's like, oh my God, they're so hot and they're so angry, and I love it because it's like deep down, that's how I am.
Yeah.
So most compatible with, I would say, like they say Geminis, but I have yet to meet a Gemini man that I'm like, yes, because they are very wishy-washy and I'm just not about it. Maybe I just haven't met the right one yet. But least compatible with, I would say I will never in my life, ever in my life, date another Pisces man. Ever. Like never, never. He could be the last man on earth. Never. That's and then maybe it's just because I was young and they were young, but like, no, it is the wishy-washy nature. Like, you think we're wishy-washy? Try a Pisces man. 1 minute, he don't even know what he wants to feel. So yeah, no. But that's mine. So most compatible, I would say Aries. They say Taurians. But I don't really know. I really get along with Capricorn men, but once they get in that stubborn mood, it's really, really, really hard for me, because like our personality is like upbeat and like fun and just like, and when they're brooding and they turn that internal on us.
Yeah, I don't see that being a good match.
They turn
Libra and a Capricorn.
Yeah. Well, no, Steven was a Capricorn, so
I don't see that being a good match. A Libra and a Capricorn.
She said, I said what I said.
Yeah. Well,
because like you said, you guys are very upbeat, and Capricorns are the Cancer sister sign, so you can only imagine the feelings going on inside the body of a Capricorn.
When they go in that place of being stubborn is where it shuts the relationship off, because it's like, instead of just outwardly saying like, this is why I'm upset or this is what's bothering me, like they'll shut down and they'll just be like, I'm fine. You're not fine, but it's okay. Like, I don't have time for this. Okay.
Yeah.
There is a sale down at Saks, and I'm
going to take my Aries man, and we're going to the sale.
Yeah.
Sam, Smelia.
So most compatible romantically, I can only go off of what I have. So like, let's see. I think I've dated an Aquarius of like the substantial relationships that I've had, and hopefully I don't leave someone out and then like, oh snap,
maybe
but of like the actual relationships I can think of in my head right now, I think I've dated an Aquarius, Scorpio, Gemini, Capricorn. Those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head, and I think that if most compatible so far, and I don't know if it's because it's my current partner, but is Capricorn, because I think we both have that like earth sign groundedness.
Mm-hmm.
And so that makes it very enjoyable, because otherwise it can feel very like anxiety provoking for me, like to be with someone who, like, I was with a Gemini at one point, and it was I was like so overwhelmed. Like, what's happening? Who are you today? That's
Yeah.
not who you were yesterday.
Yeah.
And I would never think you would do that. And now you've done something that I never thought you would do. And I don't even know who you are. So I think Gemini is probably my least compatible. I always feel drawn to a Scorpio, but I don't think that it's the best thing for me unless they're very, very evolved. Because what tends to happen is, like, I think the Scorpios that I've dealt with end up being needier than they're willing to acknowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And I tend to be a little bit more on the independent side. And so, like, I do have that side of me that's very much like, let's be intertwined. And then, but I also have that side of me that's like, okay, I need to be by myself for a little bit. But I still love you.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that need to be by yourself can feel wounding to a Scorpio. But instead of being like, I'm wounded, they're like, I'm not going to tell you, and now I'm going to hold a grudge against you, and now I'm going to do all of these things to undermine your confidence, undermine everything that you ever thought about yourself, because you've wronged me. And it's like, I didn't wrong you, I just needed some time by myself.
Right.
So I'm drawn to Scorpios, but I don't know that they're the most compatible for me. And
no, Scorpios don't need to date nobody. They need to be in a straight
alone in a straight jacket.
Yeah.
In the corner
No,
somewhere.
they don't need to date nobody.
Right.
And then, like, Aquarius, I don't necessarily know if that, like, our mom is an Aquarius. My son's an Aquarius. I love Aquariuses. But romantically, I don't know that would be a good fit for me.
Okay, so my turn?
Yes.
So the signs that I think I am most compatible with, let me think. Honestly, none. No, I'm kidding. I have, like, pursued relationships with, my longest and only relationship was with the Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, yes, it was exactly what Smelia was saying. It was like, who are you today? But I think because I'm a Cancer and my emotions change with the moon, I was able to understand why, like, okay, you just feel a different way today. That's fine. But like, okay, because you're getting on my nerves. It was more like, I'm not afraid you're just getting on my nerves, because if anybody understands mood shifting, it's probably me. So all this two-facedness that you're doing, like, don't try to act like I don't understand it, because I get it. I'm a lunar phase. So I don't know if I'm most compatible with Geminis. But like, it seems to be like a sign that I am involved with romantically a lot. Like, I've been involved in romantically with multiple Geminis.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be compatible with Capricorns. It's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen though. But I do love the energy that Capricorns give, and I also love the energy that, like, I was saying earlier today, I'm switching now. I'm off the Capricorn energy. I'm trying to get more into the Virgo energy, even though I really detested Virgos not too long ago.
Crazy.
No, literally, I can't say, but I know that I'm compatible with an Earth sign, so I'm like, oh, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. There's only 3 of y'all. I haven't interacted with the Virgo in a while, so I guess you. I think, honestly, least compatible. Wow, that's kind of hard. I want to say, and this is so hard because I just met this girl who's a Sagittarius, and I really, like, think she's so cool, but I don't know about Sagittarius.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would say that's probably my, like, dare I say it, my least favorite sign.
Yeah.
I feel bad saying it, but I think they're my least favorite sign.
I think that for me as a Cancer, I don't have a favorite sign. Maybe other Cancers might disagree. If you're a Cancer, definitely weigh in on our Instagram. It's an okay podcast. But I feel like I can pretty much go with, like, any sign.
Yeah.
Like, I have been around so many people, and while I've been like, okay, I don't know if I know for a fact I'll never date a Pisces, but I attract a lot of Pisces. Yeah. There was a period in my life where every single person who was, like, I was hanging out with, talking to, around, like, whatever, was a Pisces.
Yeah.
And so I know I attract other water signs because we need that energy. Like, the more the merrier. Like, give me all the fishies, give me all the crabs. But just the Pisces and the Cancers though. Sorry, Scorpios, y'all want to be fire signs so bad and you're not. But I also, speaking of the fire signs, like, Libras may not be my favorite, and Sagittarius or not Libras, I'm sorry, Leos might not be my favorite, and Sagittarius might not be my favorite, but I do enjoy most Aries that I meet, you know? So
They're
I don't know.
funny.
Sorry.
They're funny.
They are. They're very fiery.
Yeah.
But also I used to say that Aries are Cancers on crack. I don't know if I should say that.
Like desert. It's like you get all the emotion except it's rage. And I live for it because I'm like, yes, he's beautiful.
And I like it because it's a good balance. I'm like, I'm really emotional, but like if we need to return an order, you're most definitely going to return the order for us, you know?
Yeah, like I like Aries for that reason too. Like if I ever needed somebody to like have my back, like how you were saying something like Libras feel like they need it reciprocal. Like an Aries man will give it back for us.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think I'm I don't know. Maybe I'm just not. Maybe I'm in a new mood where I'm like, I haven't been around people in a while. Because if you asked me a year ague, I'd be like, and I don't like Leos, and I can't stand a Virgo, you know. But I'm a little bit like right now. I feel like I've kind of hit the reset button on my life, and I'm like, okay, fresh start. I'm more evolved. Let me interact with more evolved of this sign, so I can actually really know what about these signs I do and don't like.
That makes a huge difference too, right? Like oftentimes you're basing what signs you like and don't like based off of your interactions with them. But if you like when you were younger, you're more likely to, I mean, there are adults who are completely unevolved. So let's get that on the table.
For sure.
But when you're younger, most of the people you're dealing with are unevolved. So it's very easy to feel like, oh, I don't like this sign or that sign because your experience is limited. But like as you grow and you personally evolve, other people are evolving too. And so maybe it's just more about, because I think there's something beautiful about every sign. And so if the ones that I feel like I have the least compatibility with, or it's really one, I think I just don't have a lot of experience with like Sagittarius in general. And then of the Sagittarius that I've interacted with, the ones have been, I'm like so nervous that I'm going to like say they've been unevolved. And then I'm going to find out that somebody that I've talked to all the time is a Sagittarius and I'm going to feel so bad. But the ones that I've been in most communication with, it's just an energy that I haven't been able to like vibe with, but I can get along with them because I think that's just a part of being an adult, just learning how to get along with everyone. But I most enjoy myself with other signs.
Right. For me, it's like, how many of the sign have I met and what was the overall consensus, right? So if I've only met about like 4 Sagittariuses, but one of the Sagittariuses I met was like wildly out of control, and then the other 3 maybe show those same characteristics of that one who was like really wild. I'm gonna be a little bit more on the fence of interacting with a Sagittarius because I know that people who are in that star alignment have the tendency to be a certain way. And I want to be careful if I'm dealing with somebody who's unevolved.
Right. You know, I'm just going to say that the sample size is too small. And so the data is a little inconclusive right now. And so I will get back to you once I've had time to interact with more Sagittarius.
True. So I wanted to throw in this question that I think that Beth will just absolutely love.
Okay.
Tell us your celebrity zodiac sign and why you think they represent your sign the best. Okay. I'll let Beth start because I'm asking this question mostly for her. I know. I don't know anything. I know both of the people who are coming. Go ahead.
I'm going to say
she's going to try to fix that.
Yeah, I knew it was Cardi B. And then the other one.
Who's the other one?
Kim Kardashian.
Okay, we already knew it was coming.
Sabrina, are you smart?
Yes. Because they represent both sides. They represent both sides. You got the class with Kim. You have I will whoop your ass and not give a fuck about anything with Cardi. So,
Senelia, did you find yours?
I did.
Okay.
I actually have 3. There's in there. It's funny because like the people I'm finding, it's actually perfectly. It's perfect. So the first person that I saw is Queen Elizabeth. We share a birthday because I'm a true queen.
Period.
Get the hell out of here.
And without the nepotism.
Without the nepotism, colonialism, racism, everything else is great. But she's very much about like duty above all else, right? Like I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do because that's what I'm supposed to do and that's what is expected of me, and it's my job to uphold, you know, what is right. So like I can definitely see that that would be something that's in alignment with what I've experienced in life. Adele, because I always said if I was a celebrity, I would be like the Adele type of celebrity. I would come out and I would do the damn thing and then I would retreat as quickly as possible. You would never see my children. I would be living a beautiful life. She also went through a divorce and then glued up. I don't know. She's glowing
bossed
up and bossed up. And so I would say that that is very much the energy I embody. Like, okay, that's fine. Goodbye. On to the next. And then Share is the third one. And it's this clip that I think either Tracy Ellis Ross or Kiki Palmer posted today. I was looking at it, but it's of Share being like her mom. She was talking about how like her partner is, she likes men, but they're like dessert. And so she's saying like I like men, but I don't need them. And her mom was like, you know, when you get older, you need to find yourself a nice, rich husband. And she said, Mom, I am the rich husband. I am the rich man. And so very much that energy, like I want my partner to be someone that I enjoy being around, that I like being around, not someone I feel like I have to be around because I need them for economics or any other thing.
Okay, so for me, my number one is Ariana Grande. I think she's a really good example of a Cancer. I will say though, because she's got a Libra moon, she's a little bit different from us in the sense of like how quickly she, you know, moves on.
I'm like, what do you mean, Ariana Grande? You're getting engaged this year?
Surprise. And you'll never see who it is because they're not gonna be famous. But I just like the way she really, like, her work ethic is amazing to me. Like, you put out 2 albums in less than a year. I think that's so cool. Also, I like how in touch she is with her emotion. Like, all of her albums are full of complete honesty, complete just like raw emotion, and I love that. Like, No Tears Left to Cry is truly a bop amongst the Cancers because we be crying. I honestly feel like Ariana Grande is my like main Cancer, but I will say honorable mentions. I love Missy Elliott. I love Solange. I love Jaden and Willow. I feel like all of those people I just named are so talented. This is the thing I think about Cancers. We are literally talent oozing, right? Like oozing, but I don't want to say we don't get the credit we deserve because that's not what it is. I think we just prefer to be so like inward that we're not seeking like outward validation. Like Solange, for perfect example, is really probably one of the most talented artists out today, but I don't think she cares about being in the spotlight. I don't think that's Solange. Like Solange cares about being recognized amongst her peers, and if her peers notice that, then she's fine with it. And I really like that. Same with like Missy Elliott. She's like, my peers know what's up.
Yeah.
You know, Jaden and Willow, my peers know what's up, you know? So I really like that about those signs, that they're just like chilling and they recognize their talent. And as long as their peers do, they don't really need the whole world to see it as well. So those are my celebrity Cancers. And I love Corinne Grace. I'm playing.
Stream
her.
my world.
Period. Period.
Do you guys agree with each person's like selections and reasonings?
Yes. What about mine? Did you guys think mine were accurate or no?
Yes. I was surprised about Ariana Grande, but then when I heard your reasoning, it made sense. Beth?
I said yes already. I said yes to both of you. Queen Elizabeth was debatable, but
why do you say that?
Because I am Queen Elizabeth anyway.
Oh, Beth.
Do you guys know who also was a Cancer? Princess Diana.
For sure. Yes, I could see that.
She's very caring. Like Cancers, y'all have that caring aspect of you. And like when she was getting real jealous, like when y'all get jealous, you almost get manic. And like watching her when she was like finding out that he was cheating on her with whatever her name is, when we don't.
She was like, "There are 3 of us in this relationship." I said, "Oh snap!"
The shade.
Oh my goodness.
Like if you watch those old, sometimes I get on YouTube and I just watch videos and like she was one of them one week that I was just watching all of her videos of like when she was alive. And when she would be talking about it, she would be giving side eye. And I'd be like, yo, she gonna lose it.
We don't hide our emotions at all.
Yeah.
We don't even bother to hide our emotions. There is no point. And that's why people are like, oh, you're moody. No. I'm just not about to let you sit in my face and be crazy. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up.
I think so too. This
Me
has been a really good conversation. I've learned a lot about you guys.
Yeah, I love that we learn more about each other each episode. It's great.
Love it.
And we will continue to do that next Monday with our next episode, which is, drum roll.
Like that drum roll a little bit longer. Yes. Manifestation.
Chug, 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 chug milk. Chug. Oh, sorry. Suck my cockiness. You know. Okay. Anyway.
The next episode is on manifestation.
Yay. That's going to be so exciting.
Mm.
Join us again next week for episode 4 of Manifestation. We're going to talk about all the things, all the cool things.
And follow us on Instagram at It's an Okay Podcast.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. I'm Corinne.
I'm Samelia.
And I'm the one you shouldn't fuck with. Elizabeth.
Facts.
Bye, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.